Hey everyone, and welcome to the first semi-final round of the day. We are going to be watching Catelyn up against Sansa in this best-of-one single elimination. These teams are competing to go into the grand finals. Of course, gems are always on the line when you're talking about Cold Green. We are watching the NA version today. We're going to watch Catelyn up against Sansa. As previously mentioned, the girls of the Stark House are going to fight for blood today. Tyr, Zhang, Kronos, and Mercury are banned out. Who are they going to first pick here, Squid?
Well, Sobek and Athena both available on the table here. Hercules made it through a banning phase, so any of those very, very powerful picks that may get picked up. I mean, we're going to have to wait and see. There is the Hercules going for that solo lane master champion right out the gate.
Yeah, I just want to grab that one, especially when Tyr banned out. It's a really common counterplay. Is just if Tyr or Hercules are gone, just grab the other one and go to the solo lane. You'll pretty much be set for the rest of the matchup. We're going to see a Neith this time around. We haven't really seen that much Neith in the last week or so with the insurgency of Artemis, and then of course on her to counter the Artemis very heavily. And we see Apollo intermittently, as he often does. Agni's going to make his way into this game. Athena going to be banned or picked up pretty slowly here. Obviously Hercules, great first pick for that solo lane, secure or possibly in the jungle, but generally the solo lane. Sobek in response, which guarantees Athena. I'm surprised to see Athena grabbed this early on, since Sobek was already picked up. Now, of course, that could limit the fact that they can't go Sobek tank and then Athena jungle, which if you know how to Athena jungle, it's terrifying.
It's absolutely terrifying, and not only is it terrifying, that would give them Sobek and Athena, which would be very, very powerful picks. Guan Yu and Anubis getting picked up here, so a lot of options that they could be going with, because both of these characters are capable of doing the solo lane. Either of them can jungle, Anubis can mid totally fine. So we're going to have to see what Death Guy picks up last to try and figure out what exactly they're going to be looking at running. We can pretty much assume Neith Sobek, probably going to be the duo lane here. A Vulcan, oh, we got the stuff doing world champion here today? No, not today. It's never Vulcan time. It's never Vulcan time. Vulcan is just such a sad little man. Yes. Looking forward to his remake, seeing what they do with him.
Yeah, he's going to be, looks like he's going to be more of a support tank type, hyper jungler type thing, so how it works out, coming more of an Athena type role with less of the initiation control, more damage output, maybe like a pseudo Ares, I don't know. Thanatos going to be picked up and locked on here to the the Death Guy didn't take Thanatos. I feel like that'd be the perfect combination there. Anubis, yeah, he's a skeleton.
It's the same concept. It's Egyptian Thanatos.
Yeah.
Death Guy's got Greyhound Anubis, so I'm okay with that. So it looks like what they're probably going to be doing then is running Guan Yu in the solo lane as a counter option to the Hercules, because Guan Yu is immune to knockups during his Taolu assault. He can walk up and clear the waves safely without having to worry about being pulled by Hercules, because he can't be pulled while he's doing his wave clear.
Yeah, biggest thing there, and of course, good control has a way to push it up, and then reduces the protections that they have with the Taolu Assault, which allows other characters like the Thanatos, like the Anubis, like the Neith especially, able to penetrate through that and get lots of damage out of it. Across the way, you see Hercules, Agni, Athena, Apollo, Bacchus lined up here. Apollo, Bacchus most likely going into the long lane there. Athena in the jungle, Hercules in the solo lane, and Agni in the mid lane, which means we will most likely have an Anubis versus Agni matchup, Guan Yu versus Hercules matchup, Apollo, Bacchus versus Sobek, Neith, and of course in the jungle we will have Athena versus Thanatos. Thanatos, a very, very bursty character, and one that's difficult to play properly, but if you know Thanatos and you understand him, you can make a lot happen. He's a very, very strong and powerful character. So we're going to cut to a brief break, guys. We get the matchup on screen for you to see. We're waiting for the spectator delay to go on through, so make sure you stick around for the start of this match. It's going to be the semi-final round between Catelyn and Sansa. Don't go too far. We'll be right back. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the semi-final round of the day. Sansa versus Catelyn facing off together. We see Thanatos lurking his way through the jungle. Let's cover who's playing what and where they're going. Sansa, the blue team, the bottom side of the map. We're going to see Angelus Mori on Athena playing that jungle role. Sir Bale on Hercules solo. Hoot on Agni, Doom or middle. Toastad on Bacchus playing the Guardian role for his Hunter. MKJNS on Apollo. Across the way, red team Catelyn grouping up in the enemy jungle. Not going to find anyone as the enemy team is doing the exact same thing across the way. Walking Paradox playing Thanatos for Catelyn. XT Snipes on Guan Yu in the solo lane. Death Guy on Anubis in the mid lane. Of course, Hawaiian Boy on Neith. And the Hunter roll, supported by Wolfie Dearest on Sobek.
Yeah, they give the advantage to Sansa here as they'd had that ward down, as you can see. So, I mean, they had full vision of Catelyn's entire team hanging out in their jungle. As you can see, Bacchus and Apollo just said, screw it, like, hung out of their tower. But they know, Catelyn knows they are totally free to ransack the enemy jungle just as hard, taking their movement speed and blue buff as well, before they, I'm sure, are going to collapse down on the mid camp and sponge that up for the extra experience. Thanatos looks like he might actually be hunting, though. They might find each other here, looking for this mid camp, seeing who's going to end up getting it. Thanatos just going to back off, doesn't want to fight Agni and Athena this early on. That's not really a winning fight.
Initiation coming out here. There goes the Scythe as well as the Clear. Not going to land anything as they back on out of that one. Mid lane pushed up here by the Agni up against the Anubis Death guy, going for that very well-known Bancroft's Talon build on Anubis. The lower you go, the more damage you do, especially with the lifesteal that he has, able to react with that one. So pushing up the wave, Agni getting the worst end of this stick here, as of course the early push from that Death Hands comes on out. Left lane, we see him pushing back, the Sobek kind of standing strong, zoning them out so they get no experience, unfortunately enough. At the same time he's doing that, Neath is pushing the lane, so they're actually not going to lose anything here. All 6 minions ended up pushing back in towards the tower. It's a little bit of difference in communication. They're still going to gain the same amount of experience and gold they would have. So, I mean, if you're going to zone them out, you may as well not push the lane and just wait for the minions to die naturally and make sure that you end up having a bit of an experience lead.
They tried. Sobek's got the right idea. Sobek's being a big man pillar here, trying to make sure he's able to keep everyone away. But like you said, as long as Neath is pushing, it's making no difference, really. Sobek's zoning Bacchus. Bacchus just running in terror. I'm not sure why Bacchus is falling back so hard from this lone Sobek, as he leaves Apollo in lane to lose almost half of his health to Neath, getting blown up while rooted in that Spirit Arrow, even under his tower there. Bacchus definitely tanky enough to stand up, especially starting with Mark of the Vanguard versus the Watcher's Gift on Sobek. He's got no reason to be running from this alligator.
Yeah, it's a little strange. Maybe he had to fix a mouse issue or something was going wrong at the time and just wanted to make sure he stepped back for a second. Or maybe he just didn't, it was just pure terror, just didn't want to deal with it. Athena coming to the mid lane and clear out that left side camp. Looks like Thanatos is here as well. Both pots, magical and physical, for the Athena and Thanatos. They're going to check over on this side as it does now respawn. They should be able to clear this pretty easily unless Audi just gets smart and shoots a meteor over the wall. No, they're going to both die here as they push up the mid lane. Returning to it, however, both level 5 Athena and Audi may have an advantage here as Thanatos does not have his ultimate right now. He's going to go in with the silence. Not going to grab this death phase. Actually, the ultimate comes out from the noob. Is going to burst down the Agni. Yeah, it's a 2v1 situation. Athena might not have enough damage to deal with this. She's going to back on off. In the meantime, we do see Hercules getting a kill there on the Guan Yu. Looks like Hercules ended up using his ultimate. Guan Yu did as well. And looks like the tower might have been involved. Did you happen to catch that?
I did not. I was watching the Anubis fight in mid, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that Guan Yu tried to ride away on his horse, and the horse got a very large rock shoved up its bum, is pretty much what I would assume happened. Unless Guan tried to initiate with the horse and then just got denied by the man pillar that is Hercules. Initiation here in the left lane, charge spray coming out from Sobek, putting Bacchus out of position there, but it's Bacchus. So not a whole lot of poke damage done to him, not even really able to do a quarter of his HP, as he just waddles back over to Apollo to continue being a large tanking force.
Hercules going to push up here. Driving strike coming there on the Guan Yu. Going to drive right through that one back towards his tower. Left side we see Apollo grouping up with the Bacchus as well. See if they can't grab something up on top of that. They're going to back up towards their tower here as Agni comes on and pushes up the mid lane. It seems like Agni and Anubis are pretty evenly matched in this situation. See if they can't grab something here. Thanatos comes through. Athena also waiting in the wings. See if they can't get something done. But the question is, will they get a kill?
He'll be looking for the opportunity for sure. Agni's all the way back in his tower, making sure he doesn't take any unnecessary risks. Doesn't want to expose himself while Thanatos is nearby, just because Thanatos is such a bursty character. Thanatos is going to pick up this mid camp before anyone can help to rotate. A meteor from Agni comes in a bit too late as the camp has already fallen. But Athena and Agni are going to head over to the right side mid camp, and now we might have ourselves a fight because neither of them want to let this one go. The Thanatos comes in, lands his 3, but it's a little bit too late. After missing his thrown scythe, there's nothing really he's going to be able to do there.
pretty much finished up. Right side, Guan Yu gonna go up against the Hercules yet again. Guan Yu in the worst end of the stick. Seems like Hercules is absolutely dominating here as he hops up on his horse. Thanos is gonna group up and try and force this forward as Hercules kind of runs around the backside. Excavate hits him in the face and ends up falling. Fight over here to the left side, and Toxic gonna come out, double belch of the gods. So going down on the ground. Box doesn't have a whole lot of mana left, but does have the blue buff. Hopefully able to jump away. Neath ultimate. Can they get enough damage off? They will get it with the tail whip. They'll back away from that one. Looks like the mid.
Meanwhile, in mid lane here, we have Agni getting poked down a bit by the Anubis. He's getting to the point now with his meteor where he's got enough wave clear that he can stand up totally fine without any real issues. Anubis trying to make something happen there, but Agni just dashing away before anything could really go wrong. Phantos looking for a gank on Hercules, but goes in without Guan Yu's support. Guan Yu not there to help him out. So Hercules just going to casually walk away, mitigate wounds, be Hercules, and not really care about anything that happens. Just kind of hanging out in his lane. I mean, at this point, he's already got a 2-level advantage on the Guan Yu. He's got, let's look at the gold here, 800 gold. 800 gold personally over his opposing lane there. So not really anything Guan Yu's going to be able to do to push back against this Hercules right now until he gets a little bit more farmed up. As you can see, Herc just bullying him as he tries to farm.
Yeah, he really, I mean, 2 levels behind, 7 to 9. You see him, the minions just railing into him, and T-Snipes kind of taking the damage here away from that. The minions are just kind of pushing in. And you see the fact he's about to finish off his mystical mark versus the Guan Yu ended up going for boots. I mean, the defensive item makes a huge difference in the solo lane. We often see solo lane characters missing their boots for, quite some time. They decide to delay them as long as they possibly can. In fact, today we saw a tier who bought his boots 5th item, just buying pure tank items, getting the Witchstone for a little bit of movement speed, but beyond that, just being as tanky as he possibly can. And that's something that we do see in the solo, and for good reason. I mean, look at Guan Yu tier 2 warrior top E, not able to do anything with that versus the tier 3 mystical mark now finished up the HP and physical protection, making it so easy for him to just run into minions, and the Guan Yu who also does physical damage. I mean, everything that he's facing right now, the Thanatos jungle, the Guan Yu initiation, the minions, and the tower all do physical damage.
That's it's gonna make him very tanky on top of just, being Hercules as he goes into Guan under tower, lands the excavate, but doesn't quite manage to finish off Guan, who jumps on the Horse of Freedom and rides away to the back of his tower away from the minions, making sure he's able to stay alive, and he is going to get to go home. Left lane, Thanatos rotating, looking for an opportunity to save Sobek as he drops in on the Athena, landing a stun. Thanatos misses Athena with his thrown scythe, but it goes past and hits Apollo in the back, chunking him down and forcing him to back off there. Completely accidental, but enough to force Apollo back to his tower and end that engagement.
Can dash right through the Hercules here in the right side lane. Guan Yu to push that. We see Thanatos popping his ult, but trying to get the Bacchus. The Bacchus was a little bit too far away, and even if he landed it towards the end, he'd be under tier 2 tower, might get picked off at the same time. So didn't want to risk it at that point. We see Thanatos coming into the mid lane, trying to get something done. That right side of camp is available. Athena on her way over. The ping's coming out from Catelyn, making sure that Thanatos knows he's being followed on the backside. That camp going to be picked up there, and also Agni to clean out the mid lane without losing any damage to his tower. It's important to keep in mind that Agni actually did go for Doom Orb this time around. Has he fallen yet? He has actually at 0, 1, and 0 right now. So definitely something that's not really paying off for him just yet. He wants to get those stacks up, and I don't really agree with mages going for Doom Orb. I don't think Doom Orb is a safe item. Heartseeker can work in certain situations if utilized properly, but I don't think there's any real use for Doom Orb since it's so easy to kill mages if you focus them.
They are incredibly squishy and easy to burst down, but at least in this situation, as an Agni, I mean, the mage has got a very reliable escape. So, I mean, if there's someone I was going to go for a Doom Orb on that would make sense, Agni's definitely high up there on the list. Sobek and Neith look like they're going to rotate in, just trying to steal the blue here away from Bacchus and Apollo, but Bacchus and Apollo know exactly what's going on. Bacchus looking for an opportunity to jump in. There goes the belly flop with the Athena ultimate. Athena dunks down. The blue buff does go to Neith and Sobek, but at what cost? Down goes Sobek, down goes Neith, and that's a double kill onto the Agni.
Agni going right back to the mid lane to farm on up. He's pretty happy with himself, and he skips on over. 4-2 right now, the 9.5-minute mark. Sansa up 2 kills right now. Looking at the gold difference, about 600 gold and 1,100 experience overall. A side camp being taken yet again by Athena. She's pretty adamant about taking these camps away from the enemy, and for good reason. I mean, good amount of gold and experience split on top of those every time you get them, about 90 gold each. Of course, if you solo them, it's about 180 gold for both of them if you get them both. So I think a big pickup there. Thanatos going to do the movement speed buff right now and clear that one out. The Harpies have respawned. Thanatos is on his way. I don't know if he's going to get here in time with the burst damage that Athena has. Looks like that will be finished off. Thanatos is going to back right off of that one. Of course, Ogni and Anubis now going at it in the mid lane. Thanatos looking to find something here, see if he can't get a silence off on the Ogni. There goes the silence, actually reacts to it immediately. It's almost like he had an eye on the back of his head. He was baiting that one out without looking at towards the jungle. Knew he was there and just reacts immediately to that one. So right side lane, we see Guan Yu yet again being bullied back towards his tower. Looks like Thanatos might be coming over to assist though.
Thanatos looked like he just got mind blown by that reaction as he kind of just got stunned and then hung out in the Path of Flames, standing in the entire duration, losing over half of his health just to Path of Flames damage. Hercules looking like he wanted to do something blue buff, but doesn't want to go up against Guan Yu and Thanatos at the same time. I mean, Hercules is Hercules and he's pretty manly, but that's a little too much man to take on at one time. He's not even pushing his wave anymore. He's just bullying Guan Yu out, trying to deny him any XP possible, trying to zone as hard as he can, while in left lane, Neat's getting jumped on by Athena, who shows up, lands a good taunt, pulling her back in. The Intoxicate comes out from Bacchus. Neat's just trying to escape with Drunk State right now. We know how hard that is right now. Apollo up in the air, ulting down in the backfield, making sure he's going to be able to stop Neat from getting away. There's the backflip, but the Sobek charge prey peels Apollo out. Might be enough to save Neat. The Bacchus belch, just another tick would have finished her off, but it's not enough. And now Thanatos goes up. The Neathol gets blocked by Bacchus, but it's up to Apollo to dodge the impending Thanatos dunk. Or Thanatos just looks like he's going to fly away and get Athena in the background. Never mind, you're dead. I'm not actually positive how Thanatos just died.
It's possible minions had a tracer on them. See if we can't back up.
Oh, yeah, arrows.
Yeah, let's see. Initiation coming out here in the lane as they push on up. The minions are coming through. Thanatos is going to make his way over and come through the backside. See if we can't figure it out. As he rotates over, he's going to make his way towards the back. Realizes he's in a really bad situation. And he's going to dash away here. Looks like he's going to pop his ultimate right about now. And then that's exactly what it is. The range minions had tracers on him when he was going up into the air. He's going to pop his ultimate. Can we see him on the ground? Looks like we can't.
Oh, yeah. You can see the arrows in him while he's flying. There's a couple little minion arrows.
And there it is. So the minions, life after death will finish off the Hand of Death itself. Even the Hand of Death cannot prevent the damage that comes out from the ranged minions of Smite. They always find a way to get their target. So kill there on Thanatos, waited way too long to pop that ultimate, end up getting caught here. We see Guan Yu now finally going for the mystical mark, but he's already 0-2-0, sitting about 1,100 gold behind his lane opponent. At this point, you can really see that those boots really did him no good.
Yeah, the shoes are not worth it right now. We can see Guan Yu is now going for his mystical mark, but I guess it might be too little too late as he is already having serious trouble with his lane, and Hercules is already a pretty big boy. So it's just not the greatest of first items in the solo lane to start out with those boots. You don't really need the movement speed. You're sitting in lane, not really moving anywhere. I mean, what do you need speed for? You're Guan Yu. You don't need that speed. Mystical mark would give him the defense he needed to survive against Hercules, just bullying him around, help him out with his clear even further, and make it so he had absolutely no problem just out-clearing Herc forever with his Taolu Assault. But where he's at right now, life is hard. Life is hard for Guan Yu. He's trying his best, though. Still putting up the fight, still trying to push, but just getting bullied around.
Yeah, it seems like Hercules is pretty well accomplished in this solo lane here. He's very comfortable with the situation that he's in. Guan Yu versus Hercules seems to be a favorable matchup for him. He's having an easy time dealing with him. In the mid lane, we see Ogni in the same situation, pushing back the death guy on Anubis as that meteor does come on out there. So checking the charts, we see 1,100 gold up and 2,300 experience for Sansa, getting bigger and bigger as the moments go on. Initiation in the mid lane, the scythe comes on out, the slow, the silence. Actually, the Path of Flames comes out, not going to land the Mummify, unfortunately enough. Anubis getting too frisky here. The Flame Wave not going to land. He missed that. That was an easy kill for the Ogni. Decides to actually just blow the flame wave away. Athena mid lane now throws out the taunt before the shield wall, not able to get the explosion damage out. Here comes Guan Yu riding in on his horse, trying to grab up the Oni. Can he get it in time? Thanos is up in the air. Each time it gets popped, avoids both the stun from the Guan Yu and the Thanos ultimate, but not going to save his life thereafter. Arnie will end up falling as they head right back into the jungle. Hercules, in the meantime, is going to push up his tower, and so will Apollo.
Agni whiffing everything right there. The kill that could have been. Now Thanatos just trying to get back into jungling right now. Wants to keep getting farmed up. Then make his way over to the gold camp while Hercules gets jumped on by Guan and Nathan proceeds to really not care at all. As he just kind of waddles casually away and is Hercules. I mean, really at this point, with his mystical mark finished and being such a large man, level 15, most farmed in the game by far. He's just so unkillable. There's not really anything they can do. They're going to gank him with someone who's not physical, like Anubis. Anubis needs to show up and try to bake this Hercules, and I don't even know if that's going to be enough, but at least that's not going to be mitigated by the massive protection he's getting off Mystical Mark.
He's getting a lot, absolutely. It's something that, you really got to take into account when you go after him. And you can shut down his healing with, Pestilence, Divine Ruin, Creeping Curse with the Weakening Curse upgrade. There's a lot of things you do to shut him down, but I mean, overall, he has a lot of tankiness. I think the biggest thing comes down to his mitigate wounds, his ability to regenerate HP and damage that he's taken over time. A really, really big pickup for him. And something you have to keep in mind when you go into team fights. Hercules generally leads the charge. He goes into the backside, tries to get something done, but the hardest thing is that either you ignore him and take the damage that he's going to give to you and try to go for the team fight victory, or you try to attack him, and you may not even get enough damage off on him to weaken him. So you really have to be careful about what target you choose with Hercules, especially one as fed as we're seeing here.
Right now, as Thanatos shows up for a gank, Herc is just going in on him, and Thanatos forced to pop his fist just to run away with all the damage Hercules is putting out. And that's just one of the great things about Hercules. His base damage is just so high that even when he's not building tanky, or when he's not building damage, when he is building tanky, he's able to put out so much hurt like that on the Thanatos that's showing up and just getting slapped around. Meanwhile, Sobek just getting ganged on with that Athena gank showing up, tearing him down before he can get away, giving his life for his carry, being support tank. And now they're looking to do the same thing to Neith, but a good backflip is going to get her out of the fight there. Neith has just got such a reliable escape. It's very difficult to pin her down without a way to account for that backflip.
Yeah, you really have to make sure that it's on cooldown if you want to initiate hard, and it's one of those things that everyone has an escape like that. You can't really just commit completely and have them backflip away. Right side, we see Hercules going up against the Guan Yu yet again, kind of having a slap fest here, healing right back up. It's going to be the Hercules. In the mid lane, we see actually one Harpy stolen away by Agni, one finished off by Thanatos. So they're going to be splitting the gold there across teams, which is usually pretty uncommon there. Left side lane getting rooted, double rooted actually, by the Neith, who pops up Meditation. So Meditation Neith just sitting in the left lane, shooting out the arrows, getting the waves down, controlling the lane, and farming. 5,800 gold farmed here by the Neith. That's going to be more than the Bacchus as well as the Apollo, but definitely nowhere near the 7,800 by the Hercules, 7,200 by the Audi, and 7,100 by the Athena, who are just taking this game and running with it.
They're getting very large very fast, and right now, although there haven't been a bunch of kills, that goal advantage, since it's all piled onto those three characters, is going to manifest itself very strongly as we move on, and Athena and Hercules are able to just kind of tank up and be a front line. Even building damage, Athena's just naturally quite a very tanky person, and Agni's damage is going to be absolutely through the roof with the Doom Orb he has there, with that stacked up combined with the amount of farm he's got. That's going to be something nobody really wants to fight. Neith and Apollo having a whiff fight here in left lane as somebody manages to land one auto attack before Neith backs off. Blanca's trying to go for the initiate, but we're going to have that backflip, and she's just going to peace out. There she goes. Backflip away. Freedom for Neith. Hercules just casually 1v2 and Guan Yu and Thanatos. Athena going to drop her ult down to see what he can do, but Hercules isn't going to be able to get anyone in that. So there's no real kill potential there. He's just going to go back to what he was doing before, completely ignoring everyone else's existence.
Look at the situation here that we have. Sobek 1, 2, and 0. 6,200 gold farmed on the Neith. Here's we see initiation in the right side lane. Drive right into the Thanatos. See if they can't get something done here. The dash comes out from both Hercules and Guan Yu. Not going to be very effective there. But again, look at Sobek. I mean, he's been roaming around this entire time. Bacchus has likewise been kind of staying with the Apollo. Bacchus sitting right now 4,900 gold versus the 5,700 from the Sobek, 5,800 gold from the Apollo, and 6,400 from the Neith. So, look at the overall situation. Sansa's ahead. Apollo and the Bacchus really haven't been a part of much, and of course Neith hasn't really either. Apollo getting some assists there, but overall it seems like having the support tank roam around while the carry sits and farms helps out the map overall and allows the carry to get farmed if, of course, the carry can maintain themselves in lane, which Neith has been doing quite effectively. Anubis gets picked off there in the mid lane, Sobek getting caught out and being forced to dash away as they jump over the wall to get that side camp. It seems to be working so well for Sansa. The rotations are good, the gold is good, 1900 gold ahead, 40,000 experience, and their early game is pretty much assured.
Neith, meanwhile, just AFK farming left lane, gonna just about get this tower down. Looks like she's not quite gonna get it, but Apollo does show up in time for the save, actually landing a lot of damage on the Neith. That Apollo is shredding relatively hard, and now there's a 3-man rotation showing up, and that Neith is going to go down. No Heartseeker or anything to shut down, but at least a little damage. Sobek trying to charge away, dashes right as Apollo comes in for the ultimate, so no damage going to be laid in there, but that Neith is getting killed, so that is shutting down the farm advantage that she's getting over Apollo, and he saved the tower, and that brings him back up to only like 700 gold behind Neith. So I mean, Neith has just got a huge farm advantage on Apollo right now, and they're struggling really hard trying to catch back up.
Left lane, Sobek forced to dash away yet again. Anubis coming out here as Sobek rolls back to his tower. Has had enough of that. Let's look at the damage numbers thus far. We see 11,000 damage done by the Hercules. Absolutely pushing this Guan Yu back into his hole. 8,600 damage done by the Agni. Likewise across the way on Team Catelyn, we're going to see 6,000 on the Guan Yu, 6,000 on Neith, and that's pretty much it. 4,500 on the Thanatos, 3,600 on the Sobek, and 1,700 player damage done by the Anubis, just getting completely shut down in the mid lane. Not able to do a whole lot.
Apollo, meanwhile, in left lane, not able to really do anything but die as Thanatos shows up, silences him, and lands a ton of damage before he's able to use the moves to get away, and Neith finishing that one off with her ultimate, making sure he didn't escape. Bacchus showing up, valiantly trying to defend this left tower, but I don't know if there's a whole lot he can really do at this point to keep this alive, as there's a 4-man collapse coming on the left lane as Anubis joins the party as well. Intoxicate only hitting Sobek, the Athena ult's a complete whiff, and the baking lighthouse of fury just vaporizes Athena, and Bacchus not long after. I mean, that just the lighthouse. The lighthouse has spoken. The lighthouse wants Athena to go home.
Great pickup there. 2-for-0 exchange and the tower now pressuring the left side tower. 4 versus 1. Driving strike on Guan Yu. Can he get a kill is the question. Go after him. The Earthbreaker not going to come out here. Guan Yu a little bit too far away. Agni making his way over to defend the left side lane. Neith hanging out. Her teammates are just going to leave her alone, go towards the gold 3. Does Apollo realize it in time is the question. He's going to actually go for a buff, or is he coming to left lane? Agni trotting over. Looks like the Agni has it in his mind. Apollo's going to actually see him and turn away. Hercules is already here, however. Driving strike coming on through here. Going to grab some. There goes the Mummify. The Gold Fury gets stolen away by Sansa. They get a double kill. Can they get the Sobek? Sobek's going to dash away towards his tower, but because of that ward, Hercules was able to teleport on over. Apollo's going to dunk in and show those minions whose boss is one of them lands on the rooftop here and sinks into the air. The mid tower is now exposed and under siege as 3 players are grouping up trying to grab something up. The dash comes out from the Guan Yu. Neith comes from a very strange flank angle. See if she can't get away. Backflip comes on out. He's going to be fine. Guan Yu dashing towards the backside here trying to get the Audi now in a 4v2 or 4v1 situation as Neith trails behind. Driving strike coming to the Earthbreaker going to land. Caught on top of the wall here. Tower Assault coming out. Going after the Agni. Can he get the damage out enough to finish him off? Neith ultimate comes through. He's going to finish off the Agni and Guan Yu will fall. A 1-for-1 exchange. He got down the gold. Actually, the very farmed Agni there, level 20, with the Doom Orb as well. So definitely got the Doom Orb stacks off the Agni, but it turned out to be a 3-for-1 exchange, plus the Gold Theory, and the graph definitely reflects that.
Guan Yu actually dying to Hercules' mystical mark damage there. But can we talk about that Herc Rock for a second? The Herc Rock of manliness at the Gold Fury. Hercules teleports to the ward, comes in from behind, throws a rock that hits all of the Catelyn members at the Gold Fury, bounces off the pillar of the Gold Fury lair, and hits them all again, doing over 50% of everybody's health at Catelyn, dropping the entire team down below half, so cleanup crew could just come in and destroy the planet. And of course, like you said, following that up immediately with the driving strike, laying on even more damage, and a stun on 2 members of Catelyn with that charge through. That Hercules boulder just destroying any hopes and dreams Catelyn would ever have had of getting that Cold Fury. Just, that was one of the most beautiful boulders I've ever seen. That was poetry in rock form.
Well, he came from the right lane as well. I mean, he has that tier 3 teleport where the ward got placed down on top of the Gold Fairy. He teleported to it. In fact, the ward was inside the camp. So I'm sure it scared Catelyn to near death. We just see a level 20 fed Hercules come out of the ground and appear out of thin air and jump right on top of them through the rock driving strike combinations. That was a very tough loss there for Catelyn. And it might be another one here as Bacchus jumps in. Belch the Gods interrupted by the silence here. But there's Athena ultimate. Look at the burst! Anubis is absolutely erased from existence. Sobek caught by himself, Path of Flames coming through. Thanatos ultimate not on Threshold, but will end up getting the Agni anyway. The Rock coming through. Sobek already down 2 for 1 exchange, going after the Guan Yu. The body block of 3 comes through and not able to get Guan Yu out. Actually, going to be a 2 for 2 thus far. Will Guan Yu survive? The dash from Athena will finish him off there. Now a 2v2 situation as Thanatos runs away. Hercules is still here. The taunt on top of the Neath. Hercules throwing out his club damage. Apollo's up in the air, goes for the dunk, hits out that Thanatos, forcing him back. He can't get away, and now it's just Nietzsche backflips. Does he have a taunt? Can he grab the Neath away from the minions? The minions will body block that one away. So it turns out to be a 4 for 2 exchange in favor of Sansa after the Gold Fury 3 for 1 exchange. That's going to put them ahead 6,100 gold, 10.6k experience, and the right side tower is under siege.
Sansa having a pretty great mid game right now. Just so much work being done as they're smashing tower after tower. Sobek and Anubis are now both up, rushing to defend this tower, and Sansa realizes that they may have overstayed their welcome. Apollo, kind of indecisive about the direction he wants to run, might find himself in range of charge prey if he doesn't do something, and he does a thing. He the Moses, that's a thing. But turns around and land is so beautiful. He's trying to hold him here, so it looks like that's Guan Yu teleporting in. Apollo's just hanging out right now. Tempting fate. Asking to be murdered. But there is no murder to be had. As Athena backs off, everyone manages to fall back, regroup, and get away. Apollo gets away with his cheeky poke damage, and Hercules shows up to be a mountain of meat and not care about anything.
Driving Strike comes out, and Guan's going to dash away from that stun from the Agni. He's going to heal himself out. Earthbreaker comes on through. Does he have a Driving Strike coming up soon here? Mid lane, charge prey, burst damage from Anubis. Can they grab him up? They're going to finish off Apollo there. Guan Yu being forced back. I don't know why they're spending so much time trying to kill it. Look how easy it was to kill Neath! Neath vaporized under the pressure of Athena and the Agni. 1 for 1 exchange. Actually, there was the Anubis as well. So Neath being picked off towards the end there. So Anubis, 2 for 1 exchange thus far. Now going after the Thanatos. Does he have an ultimate? He does have an ultimate. Can he use it? Can he get off in time? He just doesn't want to sit still for too long. Heals up on the minions, running through the jungle. They're going to cut him off here. He's going to go around towards the Gold Fairy. Athena comes out. There's the Spear of Justice through his backside. So it's going to turn out to be a 3 for 1 exchange. Going after the Sobek is the Agni under tower range. He dashes away from the Meteor. No meters left for the Agni. Mid tower and right side tower being pressured right now. Sobek trying to do the best he possibly can. Tail whips him away. Hand to the gods. Does he have anything to grab him up? The Agni's going to go and get a kill on the Sobek, turning that 3 for 1 into a 4 for 1. Mid tower falls. Right side tower soon to fall. Sansa in control.
So yeah, an Athena ultimate does about 75% of Anubis' health right now. Anubis just melting. Like, Athena falls out of space on Anubis' head and his spine just snaps in half. Is pretty much exactly what's happening when Athena ults in. So much damage on a magical Athena's ultimate, and she has so many opportunities to land it, as all 4 of her teammates have dashes or leaps to secure these ultimates. As we saw Agni using his Path of Flames to dash in onto the Anubis as Athena came in and to deliver the planetary smash of justice onto his face. Now it looks like Catelyn, they're looking at Fire Giant. I doubt they're gonna do this. Yeah, that would be the cheekiest thing I've ever seen in my life if they wanted to try and do Fire Giant right now. They're just gonna fan out in their jungle, try and get some vision, try and figure out what they can do to push back. Bacchus is just gonna be here, counter-warding, just Bacchusing around, making sure they don't get to have vision of the objectives.
It's just, I don't know, it's the funniest image to see Bacchus drinking wine while there's a Guan Yu smashing his back with a spear, and he just doesn't even care. He's just drinking his wine around in the jungle. Leave me alone! Warning! He makes it on through there, so very, very casual. Of course, Bacchus does have Sovereignty, Greaves, and the start of his next item, but really all you need is support tank. You know, if you're sitting as a new support player and you're thinking to yourself, you know, I'm under-leveled, under-farmed, I only have one item. If you get Sovereignty done, your boots done, and hit around level 14 or 15, you're pretty much done. I mean, that's all really a support tank needs. And proof of concept here, you see Bacchus sailing on level 15, very under-leveled, very under-farmed, with just a finished Sovereignty in his boots and tier 1 Bulwark of Hope there, and he's so tanky. It's the natural stacking you get from getting your levels up, and of course the Sovereignty does give you a good aura, a good split of HP, physical protection. Initiation comes out on top of the Apollo getting absolutely melted, and as the second time Apollo gets caught out of position before a team fight even starts. Thanatos might be in the same situation. There's a stun from the Audi, and absolutely done by the Athena. Dunking down from the skies. Sobek goes into his ultimate. Burst damage from Anubis is going to be enough to finish off the Athena. Looks like it won't. The taunt, the shield, the wall, and that's enough to finish off Anubis. 2-for-1 exchange. The Rock is rolling on through to a stop inside the jungle. Guan Yu wants the Agni. Can he get in time? The sun comes out. Neath unable to land. It gets rooted down top of the Athena. Going after the Guan Yu is going to be the Hercules as well as the Box. Can he get in time? The Unravel's not going to get the kill there on the Agni or the Athena, who gets forced back. And they get the kill on the Sobek. Bacchus still going. Spirit Arrow not going to land. Guan Yu's still alive somehow, some way. So strong. Hercules and Bacchus going to run through the jungle here. See, they can't pick up the Neath. Agni, for whatever reason, is still chasing through. He's going to dash away and be just fine. Bacchus going to say hi, Neath. Neath's going to say hi, shoot out a basic attack, miss, and then walk away.
Tank carry interactions. I'm not sure if I'm having a display glitch right now, but it looked like Apollo just had his ultimate when he got jumped on there, just kind of hung out and didn't really do anything about it. Guan Yu showing up to try and stop this Gold Fury party here. Hercules is going to back off. Doesn't want to risk that being stolen because, I mean, Guan Yu's got a fist, and, I mean, Bacchus is... I don't actually know why he backed off. It's Guan Yu. Hercules doesn't care a whole lot. He's got rank 3 Hog on Bacchus. They've both got rank 2s. The rank 3 Hog was currently dead for Catelyn, so I'm not sure why he didn't just keep doing his do right there. He would have been totally fine with the team fight. His whole team was in the area. But decided to play it safe, didn't want to take any risks. Apollo, meanwhile, is off in split push land, doing his do, about to get totally collapsed on. He has his ultimate, and he's learned his lesson from his last experience. As soon as he sees enemies show up, he just ults immediately. Just says nope, flies all the way across the map, and goes to split push the other lane. That's how you Apollo. That is how you Apollo. People show up to contest you, all right, I'm going to go to the opposite side of the map and continue to pretend you don't exist.
I'm going to my corner. I want to push. Leave me alone. The jungle box going to hang out here. Belly flop coming out. Thanatos throwing out some size. He's going to get something done here. Throw out some death, possibly. Hercules just running through. Driving Strike, Earthbreaker combination. Going to put him in a really terrible situation. That's a dead Thanatos if I've ever seen one. Guan Yu goes up on his horse. Anubis doing some damage here to the Hercules. Actually going to finish him off with the ultimate, killing the unkillable. So Beck goes to the ultimate, slow comes out, Locust Swarm coming out from the Anubis, double stun from the Audi, Towel Assault on the Apollo. Will Apollo survive? Nope, Neath ultimate from the wall. We'll finish him off there. It goes the water, the meteor coming out there, and the spear from the Athena will finish off the Sobek. Thus far, it's a 2-for-2 exchange as they kind of back off this engagement. Bacchus on the backside actually was not a part of that engagement, unfortunately enough, did not make it through to support his team there. Athena and the Agni doing work as they always have. Anubis going for a 4th item Warlock Sash. Very surprising they're not able to finish that one. Of course, 100 stacks at this point in the game is a very scary proposition for Anubis. Going to have to be farming constantly and probably won't have that for quite some time. A strange itemization choice. Guan Yu going to go for the Bulwark of Hope after the Mystical Mark. Just wants some tanking. It's just taking too much damage from the Athena, Agni, and the Bacchus combination. We have some penetration coming out from the Athena, who goes into the Obsidian Shard, right into the Gem of Isolation for that slow. Bulwark of Hope finished off, or about to be finished off here from Hercules after the Void Stone, the Jotun's Wrath, and of course the Ninja Toppy and Mystical Mark. A very balanced bruiser build across the board. Apollo is going to go for the Chin's Size Deathbringer AC build. A lot of attack speed, less damage, but really wants to mitigate, or actually just take advantage of the passive that he has with Audacity, increasing his attack speed overall. And then, of course, poor Bacchus trying to work on that Bulwark of Hope, but not getting a whole lot of income to be able to spend it on.
And that's kind of the downside of building a tank without any Watcher's Gift or Midas boots. You don't get very much money, which is just kind of a downside. Athena right now, 13-1, selling her Bumba's Mask for a Wall of Absolution. She is 1 rank on her Wall of Absolution away from a completely finished build. While we have Guan Yu just barely on his 3rd item, Thanatos just barely on his 3rd item. Athena at almost 15k, just almost 4K ahead of the top farmed member of the enemy team. Alone. Ult Thanatos and vaporizes 80% of his health. I mean, she is just so massive right now. Athena is a planet. Athena should be the one called Jupiter, because she is huge. And she is just having her way with everybody right now. Basically indestructible, killing people in 1 to 2 skills. Her ult is just the I win button if her team can get it onto drops right now. I don't know what they can do to shut down this Athena.
I mean, it's hard. She's getting so much tankiness from her passive stat gains, and then, of course, damage output from her itemization. Strange, we'll talk about that in a second as the Gold 3 gets finished off, but Hercules getting jumped on. Excavate coming through, bounce off the wall, forcing down the Anubis, and a spear from Athena will finish him off there as they go after the Guan Yu as well as the Neith, who tries to get away. The stun might come out, not going to be necessary as Hercules gets in there, there's a Path of Flames, and that's a dead Guan Yu. And Sobek just backing in the jungle, nothing he can really do at this point. Of course, we had the Thanatos already picked off previously, so Gold 3 being picked up by Sansa. A 3 kill after Thanatos kills, going to make it a 4-for-0 exchange on top of Gold Fury, shooting the graph up above 13,000, now 14,000 when it does update. 14.5k. The 2 towers are worth more now, so 1,400 gold for that tower. 14.5k. Now the Phoenix is being pressured here, and at this point, Catelyn is hard-pressed to defend this. They're going to try and force this back. The Flame Wave comes through. Thanatos throwing out sides. They're ignoring him and almost accidentally killing him, and there goes the kill on top of Thanatos. Sobek being forced back as well as he tries to go in on this. Athena jumping right on. There's a stun. Do they have enough damage? Actually, Athena might poke this one down, and the Crocodile gets skinned alive. Mid-tower, or mid-Phoenix now being pressured up at the same time. Only one tower has been taken out on Sansa's side, but the whole opposite side of the map has been purely decimated.
When an Athena charge does 30% of your tank's health, you have a problem. You have a problem that's going to be very, very difficult to deal with. And that is called an incredibly angry Athena, who doesn't care about anything you have to say. Sansa falling back now as the members of Catelyn have started to respawn, 3 of them up, and they are all quite low. So unable to cash in on a quick fire giant or anything that simple, but they did get 2 Phoenixes down. So now, of course, Catelyn is forced into babysitting mode, with the fire minions constantly pouring up 2 lanes. If they do not constantly attend to this and constantly keep these lanes pushed out, they will kill the Minotaur on their own. So they're going to be unable to farm as they want. They're going to be unable to roam and retain map control because they're forced to deal with this situation in mid and left lane.
Orange in a group on the mid lane trying to push this one up here. Anubis now starting up his Rod of Tahuti. We actually see an Enfeebling Curse coming out from Athena to slow down the attack speed of the Neith Thanatos. And that's pretty much it. A very strange itemization. Of course, this does reduce the movement speed as well as the attack speed from God's View effect. Not really going to be huge here, but you can see the attack speed build up from the Neith. Rage and Execution already picked up. Going to slow her down just a bit and prevent her from being able to do what she wants to do. And you look at the itemization here and the stat clearing. I mean, Neith is the second most farm, tied with Anubis on her team. So if you shut down a Neith, that's a lot of the damage being prevented. Of course, Anubis very, very squishy right now. He's stacking up that Warlock Sash, and I wish to God that we had the ability to look at the stacks currently available on an item, but they're not going to have that available right now. Bucks goes in for initiation. Belch of the Gods coming out, getting immediately silenced there by the Thanatos. Neith ultimate going to come out pretty soon here if she has it available. The Athena ultimate's on the ground, forcing back the Sobek, who goes into the waters. Thanatos is up, but a little bit early. He's not going to be able to execute anybody as Anubis tries to go in. Does he get execute? Double kill execute! I eat my words. The Anubis ultimate is going to be just enough. Driving strike. Silence comes on out. A 1-for-2 exchange. The Phoenix does fall, however. Might even be a win for them. The slow comes out from the Anubis, goes forward. Does Apollo get away? Looks like he does. And looks like they will not be able to get anyone here. Trying to go after the Athena in the jungle. Thanatos is very, very quick here. There goes the Scythe. Athena might actually be able to get a kill here. Shield wall, shield slam. That's going to be it. Finishing out the Thanatos. Anubis comes back in for the follow-up revengeance. But I mean, look at the situation they have. They have 3 Phoenixes down. 1 tower on the opposite side of the map. Regardless of the fact that they just had a 3-for-2. Is it really enough to bring them back?
Not at all. Not at all. Not with 3 Phoenixes down. And not when it's at the point where Athena, running away with a quarter of her health, just turned around and shoves Thanatos' scythe down his own throat. She just does not care about anything he does. And now with her build completely finished, the Wall of Absolution done, she's going to be so incredibly tanky. I mean, she's at the point now where she's just buying potions of murder. coming out with another magical potion. She is going to be destroying people. Sobek charging the Athena ultimate and lost a third of his health right there. And, I mean, most of their team is already back up. Athena died at the very, very end of that, pretty late after the fight was over in the jungle. So she's still down, but everyone else has already gotten back up. And again, Catelyn's just playing babysitter. Catelyn is just pushed down in all 3 lanes, just trying to stop the Fire Nation from killing their Minotaur, doing what they can, which gives Sansa total map control, total free reign, and the ability to set up however they want for this next team fight. They can just clump up and 5-man one of these lanes and destroy whoever's defending it. And Sansa can't do anything. Sansa can't 5-man clump around, so they're stuck being spread out and vulnerable.
Pog is being rooted up here, and like you mentioned, I mean, the indirect map control that comes from killing Phoenixes is so important. They can't really go anywhere. They're on permanent babysit duty until these Phoenixes come back up, because their Minotaur is exposed right. The left side Phoenix does respawn. They want to nurture this one and make sure it does not get taken out very promptly. They do respawn with a little bit more HP than they did previously, but that doesn't really mean a whole lot. Look at the Phoenix HP when it respawns. They're going to right in on this one, trying to take it out. There goes the Intoxic coming through. Anubis ultimate kind of spinning around like a turret. The burst damage comes through!
Oh.
Was there Anubis in the first place is the question. Guan Yu coming through, trying to pick off the Agni here, who gets thrown away. Excavate comes on now, doing a lot of damage, split through all the players. There's Agni. Actually, did Agni survive? Agni's still alive! Does he have a blink? How did he...
He had the flames.
My game must have bugged out because he just disappeared. There was no animation at all on my screen. I assumed he'd disappear, but looks like Guan Yu's going to head on home here and survive the time. And Polo just wants the Minotaur. He's in the backside, ignoring the team fight, shooting the Minotaur. He will end up dying. The minions will actually finish off Thanatos in the meantime, going after Sobek now as the creeping curse comes right through. They're going to go towards them. They have the well to heal up. There goes the Athena damage. Going to have enough. Looks like they're not going to be forced back here. The Minotaur, they just need to back off. This is not a good engagement here for Sansa. They're getting way too greedy. There's too many people. The Minotaur does too much damage and run through the left side. They did get the mid Phoenix. They did get the left Phoenix. They have enough damage output and enough control. Can they close the deal is the question.
Well, all 3 lanes are pushed up to Phoenix. All 3 lanes have fire minions pouring in. Unfortunately for Sansa, the wave currently at the left door is not fire. So they have to wait for the next wave to come up with the Fire Nation. Situation not the same in the mid lane, though. Mid and right lane are pouring fire minions in already. So again, Catelyn's still just back on defense. That Athena ultimate did like 90% of Anubis' health at this point. But Anubis has finished off his Ratatouille. So he is going to be absolutely melting people. The longer this game goes on, the more the massive advantage Athena has doesn't really mean anything, because everyone else is starting to catch up to her. People are getting close to finishing their builds. Anubis is only 1 item away. Neat's not far behind him. They're getting close to finishing up as well. So they're going to do the same amount of monumental damage Athena's doing. And in the grand scheme of things, they're going to be doing more because Athena doesn't do quite as much damage as a farmed up carry. Bacchus is getting a little greedy and is in a little bit of trouble here getting thrown out by Sobek, but looks like he's going to be totally fine as he just tanks the Phoenix for days, not caring. There's that Anubis ultimate we were talking about, but ain't able to really do anything with it. And Athena ultimate. Yep, you're dead. Anubis just gets vaporized. Now Athena's going out into Sobek. Just the spear, the Polynomicon spear, doing a quarter of his health. She eats the Neath ultimate, though, unable to continue the pursuit there, while Hercules is just beasting on this Phoenix, and down it goes. All 3 Phoenixes down again. And just in the short time, in the, 30 seconds that Catelyn was out in the right lane in that fight, the Minotaur lost another third of its health to fire minions. I mean, it's crazy how much damage these fire minions can do to the Minotaur. Quad.
Guan Yu about to make it home there at the very end of his recall. Apollo flies in the sky, interrupts it, gets dropped on by the Athena, who's just wrecking HP bars for pay right now, just absolutely making a living off it, destroying it. The Minotaur is at half HP right now, 3 versus 3 grouping up in front of the Minotaur. If they focus the Minotaur, will they have enough to kill it is the question. Looks like they have enough to push this back. Thanatos doing some damage. Without minions, they're not going to be able to accomplish that. So as long as the push is strong enough from Catelyn, they will be able to turtle. Thanatos goes up into the air, might have enough to finish off the Athena. No, just barely makes it over the threshold before he lands on down. That regeneration too strong here. Double stun from the auto rotation. Bacchus comes on through. Agni meters remaining down. Athena still low HP. As Thanatos tries to get away from this one. Tail whip will come through. Athena comes right back. Just doesn't even want to chase the Thanatos right now. If he wants to run away from his base, that's perfectly fine. Agni coming through with the damage. Bacchus goes to tank the Minotaur. Will they go for Anubis? Ulti coming through. Excavates on the ground. The Minotaur's getting lower and lower. Will they pick it up? They will finish it off with the players standing right there watching it happen. Sansa takes this game 37-17, and a fantastic game it was.
Minotaur got taken down to about 10% health by minions while the team fight was going on out there. Anubis forced back into the base just to try and defend. And I mean, just that's the problem. That's what happens when all three of your phoenixes get knocked down. There's just nothing you can really do. You can't participate in fights, and life gets really, really difficult. Looking at the damage, you see, of course, surprising absolutely no one, 38,000 coming out from Athena. Athena just absolutely destroying the planet with how much damage she's able to lay down. And with her taunt, she still has all of this control. And being Athena, she's still incredibly tanky. She still has the block effect from her one, just fully absorbing auto attacks from the heavier gods like Thanatos and Neith. She's still super difficult to take down, but also dealing out the top damage in the game.
I mean, that's the biggest thing. We see so many numbers being thrown out here either way. 28,000 from the Neith, 38,000 from Athena. But, I mean, you're right. 21, 2, and 9 on a jungle Athena is impossible to ignore. I mean, it's just too much of a driving force for Sansa, and Catelyn just could not deal with it. And I think a lot of people just... I mean, we saw this today in the NA tournament, one level up in competition. People don't give Athena Jungle the respect that she deserves. She does a lot of damage. Everyone's used to Athena building tank, throwing out the taunts like, oh my god, this taunt is horrible, I'm out of position. But if you build damage on Athena, she will wreck you. She will absolutely blow you up, and we see that. The passive spear that gets thrown out, we see the dash doing lots of damage, we see the shield ball being thrown down, and it's a little bit too much. Combo that with the fact that she gets natural stat gains for tankiness, builds up lots of HP and defense while she's being, building up that damage there at the same time, and it's just so very powerful for the Athena to deal, out that kind of damage as well as being tanky naturally. That it's hard to deal with overall for Catelyn. I mean, they had trouble there. I mean, even Agni and the Doom Orb in the mid lane, who got focused on a lot with the Athena support, it was a little bit too much. I mean, Polynomicon, Focus Void Stone, Wall of Absolution. Actually, I really don't really like the Wall of Absolution pickup there. I mean, could have gone for, if she wanted physical protection, would have been a little bit better to go for maybe some CDR on top of that and cap that out and do more abilities than just the Wall of Absolution, which really doesn't provide a whole lot. It's a lot of physical protection if you can stack it up, which maybe she was, getting that stacked up often, but it really wasn't that great of an item choice, I suppose. But look at Neith. I mean, probably the most farmed on her team. In fact, she was the most farmed on her team, getting the Jotun's Wrath, Executioner, Rage, Deathbringer on top of everything else with a lot of penetration, but I mean, what could she really do? Towards the end, she ended up having, it looks like 231 physical power. Contrast that across the way. I mean, Agni ended up with 485 magical power versus the Athena, who had 405, but of course did have the Polynomicon on top of that. I mean, the damage control, the rotations, the positioning, it was all beautiful. The Hercules teleport to the Gold Fury was an awesome play to watch. 8-1 and 15 for him. Can't even take any credit away from him. Looks like Hercules ended that game with 43,000 damage taken. That's going to be the second most in the entire game behind the Guan Yu, who took 48,000, but that's expected if you're on the losing team that went 17 and 38 and 36 versus the 37, 17, and 84 there across the way. So Hercules taking a lot of punishment and living towards the end. But that is going to be the end of this semifinal round, guys. We're going to be going into the finals as soon as it's ready to go. So thank you so much for tuning in today. You're watching the Code Green NA tournament, and we're going into the grand finals best of 3 to see who wins 4,000 gems for their team and who wins a measly 2,000. Because who wants 2,000 gems? I don't think anybody does. We'll cut to a brief break, guys. We'll be right back. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we appreciate your viewership.